Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, and for those of you that are used to NASCAR, the last verse is not, ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Okay, time begins now. Folks, one of my granddaddy's heroes was the cowboy, humorist, and philosopher Will Rogers. His two favorite things to do were to stand up. Bob, you're supposed to be moving that out of the sun, not into it.
I'm taking it away.
You can't. It's mine. You don't work for the government.
But I could.
We always say don't steal. The government hates competition. Yeah. Will's two favorite things to do were to get up and do a little rope spinning and talk about the government. He always said the rope spinning was the hard part because the government wrote all his material for him. So I'm going to do a little bit of Will Rogers to start off with. And, of course, I got to do a little rope spinning. So there's a little rope spinning. You know, they say that politicians are kind of like diapers. They should be changed often and for the same reason. And the current crop we have now are full of isms. Liberalism, socialism, stateism, and a bunch of other isms that ought to be wasms. Now, how many of y'all remember them Walgreens commercials about a place called Perfect? Yeah, well, like they say, we don't live anywhere near perfect. Well, socialism works great in theory, but we don't live in theory. But I wrote a poem about that I'm going to start off with for you that I hope you enjoy, called In Theory. I want to move to theory, where bumblebees can't fly. Most anything can happen there if you'll just give it a try. If it's crazy enough, it might be true. Don't ask the reason why, as the bumblebees go walking by in theory. Politicians there are honest and have your best interest at heart. They've got universal health care, and it's worked right from the start. Your taxes won't be wasted, and it's school that makes you smart, as the bumblebees go walking by in theory. There, criminals obey the law and forego illegal acts. Disarming people makes them safe, and once your brain you've racked, you find results don't match your models? Disregard those nasty facts, as the bumblebees go walking by in theory. The real world need not apply there in those hallowed halls. They prefer their ivory towers and their adamantine walls, ignoring once again the signs are headed for a fall, as the bumblebees go walking by in theory. Soon this house of cards will topple with a monumental thud, and then your failed ideas will be dragged there through the mud. And the crowd that now is cheering will be screaming for your blood, as the bumblebees go walking by in theory. Thank you, thank you. No reason to applaud, just throw money. By the way, I do have CDs available. Evelyn's got some too over here on the table that Bob ran away with. Hope he didn't run too far.
Ran all the way to Van Horn.
All right, for those of you that have your cell phones and have any signal, you may want to take them out and call the operator. Hello, long distance. I'd like to speak to a cow. Why? 'Cause it's a cattle call.
Yes.
He's singing the cattle call. And look, here they come. Tex Owens would be proud. Oh, now I got to sneak a little history in on you. It's like most of the traditional cowboy and western songs actually came down to us through the Irish and Scottish ballads and chanties. And they started coming over here in great numbers in the 1840s after the Irish potato famine. They landed along the East Coast, and if y'all have ever seen the film Gangs of New York, you can understand why they didn't stay there that long. They didn't get along with city people. But they were used to working with livestock and such, and they started migrating west in great numbers. Roughly two-thirds of the cowboys back then were white folks, the remaining third being split pretty much evenly between blacks and Mexicans. And of the white folks, nearly half of them were Irish or Scots. They brought their songs with them. They changed the lyrics a little bit, sometimes, to fit their new occupations. And that's how we get those today. For instance, y'all are probably familiar with this tune, but you may never have heard it with the original lyrics. In 1697, a young man named Patrick Donnelly was named Bishop of Dromore in County Armagh, Ireland. He's a Roman Catholic. This was the same year the Bishop's Banishment Act was introduced, and basically the Roman Catholic Church and the Church of Ireland were in kind of a civil war at the time and were busy trying to kill each other's pawns and bishops and all those kind of guys. So to minister to his flock, Bishop O'Donnell had to keep his head firmly attached to his shoulders, and he had to go underground. He took the name of the traveling harper or minstrel, Phelim Brady, and they wrote a song about him.